Gold Squad TV. So they've had a couple hours to kind of digest this choke job that the Celtics had. And I'm not going to talk too much about the result. I think everybody pretty much knows who choked. Jayson Tatum. All right, so it's year 6 for him. I think it's pretty safe to say you cannot win with Jayson Tatum being your best player. I really am starting to believe this guy just isn't it. He's a great offensive player. He's improved defensively. Skill set, he's incredible. I don't question Jayson Tatum's skill set. My question's always been his heart. How bad does he want this shit? And I feel like he doesn't want it bad enough. I kind of get this, oh shucks, we'll get him next year attitude from Jayson. I'm not even going to talk about Jalen and all. This is strictly more Jayson. I already know whether we win on Friday or we're done for the season. Jayson Tatum's going to come out just jacking up 15-footers and 3-point shots instead of just going to the rim and just dominating. Jayson has not showed me that dog that I turn off everything. I'm in it to win it. I'll win at all costs, even if it means fucking my teammates over to win. I haven't seen that dog in him. I've seen it in Jordan. I've seen it in Paul Pierce, even to a lesser extent. I've seen it in Kobe. I've even seen it in LeBron at certain moments in his career. Don't see it in Jayson Tatum. It's been 6 years. I'm not questioning that man's talent. But when you 6 years in and someone's telling you he just needs to be more consistent, it's been 6 years. It's been 6 years. I don't want to hear that he needs to be more consistent. That's something you tell a player that's talented by year 3. It's been 6 years that he's been in the league. It doesn't feel that way, but it has been that long. He's in season 6. If not, he's in season 5. Either way, 5 or 6 years. So if I'm wrong, he's in season 5 or season 6, depending on which one. Either way, I'm going to get, he's only 24. Listen, man. Giannis is on the other end of that court. That man won a title under the most hardest circumstances in modern day basketball. The idea that we just thought we could just go in here and beat these guys that easily without Middleton, knowing that Giannis has already won a title and Drew Holiday is also battle tested, is utterly ridiculous. The fact that Jayson Tatum doesn't take this to the point where I need to be on God mode out here. I cannot have Giannis or anybody for that matter, Drew Holiday, no one could defend me. I'm taking this game, thank you very much. That's what Jayson Tatum lacks. I know a lot of you Celtics fans will sit there and say, well, Jayson just needs to trust the offense. And no, this is the playoffs. And right now, that fourth quarter was calling for him to take over. And he didn't. He didn't. We had a 93-79 lead, and we blew it. I'm to the point where I'm at peace, and I know Jayson Tatum will never be an MVP. He'll never be the guy that's going to lead you to the promised land. And if he proves me wrong, God bless him. But as far as I'm concerned, it's been a long time now. I'm tired of waiting for his growth. I don't see that dog in him, man. I just don't see it. I don't see that dog in him. I don't see that guy I see a guy that loves to hug his kid. And there's nothing wrong with being a great father. But you're in the second round on the verge of being eliminated now because you didn't play every single game like it was your last. You played like a guy that has a lot of talent, but doesn't show up every day. Dude, Jayson Tatum is starting to really remind me of Vince Carter. A guy that could occasionally hit a couple game winners in the playoffs, occasionally get you a 30-point game. But when them ass cheeks start getting a little too tight, it's like, we'll get him next year. Vince was that guy. And that's why he was a journeyman at the end of his career. Because he had all the talent in the world. There wasn't a thing Vince Carter couldn't do. Not just dunk on people. He had all the offensive skills in the world. I could even go as far as to say, and people would think I'm crazy, he was way more lethal than Tracy McGrady in his prime. Tracy had more scoring titles because he had more opportunity, not having a lot around him in Orlando and in Houston until Yao Ming. A lot of times Yao was injured. Tracy had to put a lot of points up. Tracy had the dog in him, but he didn't have the winning intangibles. Vince had all the talent in the world. I cannot express to you and explain to you or how prime Vince Carter, 2001 Vince Carter, 2000 Vince, 99 Vince, even 05, 06 Vince would do things on the court that would give some of the all-time greats a run for their money. We talking like Kobe Bryant's. He gave Bryant the business a few times, even though Bryant is obviously the better player. God rest his soul. He gave Paul Pierce the business a few times. He gave a lot of people the business. All right? Even Dwayne Wade had problems with him in his prime when Dwayne was just a youngin'. But the reason why I'm making that comparison is, Jayson Tatum's not the dunker that Vince Carter was. No, we're not going there. You want to know what their common denominator is? Neither of them like punishment, and neither of them have that dog in them to want to go to the next. It's like, if this shit doesn't work out, I'm still Jayson Tatum. My kid's growing. It's nothing against, like I said, it's nothing against his kid. Priorities come first. But my kid is my kid, and yada yada. We'll be back next year. I think that's the biggest difference. There's a lot of mental toughness that isn't there. I feel like with Jordan, I feel like with Kobe, even LeBron to an extent, Dwayne Wade, those guys are all legends. All those guys had that dog in them. They lost, but they went out fighting. Even Giannis has that dog in him. He ain't going out without a fight. And yet, Jason's like, all right. We'll get him next year. That's the problem I have with Jayson Tatum. And I'm going to title this video, Jayson Tatum doesn't have that dog in him. And I'm going to get a lot of responses, good or bad. But I think at the end of the day, whether I get good response, bad response, or no response, it doesn't matter. That man is not built for this moment. Yeah, he had a game-winning layup against the Brooklyn Nets. But other than that, as talented as this guy is, and believe me, Jayson Tatum's a top 5 talent if we're going to talk about like offensive arsenal. And defensively, he's not too shabby. Just doesn't have that dog in him. He doesn't have that growling pit bull that's ready to, maul your fucking hand off of in a moment of clutch. He doesn't have that. And I just don't think he's ever gonna have that. I think he's kind of always be like that nice guy. And if that's who he is, that's who he is. More power to him. But I think if you're the Celtics, you got to start thinking about that. Because we're just going to be a conference final second round team every year. And what's unfortunate is that we might end up having to let Jalen go at some point, which is foul. Because JB actually has the dog in him. Just doesn't get the opportunities. It's just at the end of the day is what it is. Jayson just doesn't have the dog in him. Gold Squad TV, leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. You only gotta agree, but it's the reality. Peace.